Peace and greetings, you guys. What's good? It's your girl Naya here, and I am back for another What's Up Weekly, where I talk about what's up in the sky, what is the cosmic weather looking like, and then I also pull some cards. I'm going to try something a little bit different this week. Also, as far as format goes, I want to try it, see how it works and resonates for you guys. So let me know in the comments. So this What's Up Weekly is gonna be for June 24th, Sunday, June 24th to June Saturday, June 30th. So Sunday to Saturday. And as you can tell, I'm not in my usual setup, but I still wanted to take the time out to create this video because I feel that I don't know. I just feel it's important. It's important to me. I know, it's important to some of you guys. So I may do to try and keep them as consistent as possible. Sorry, getting right into it and battling a little bit. All right. So I don't even know where to start, man. This is every week. I never know what to start with because there's always so much happening in the sky at once. Let's talk about the most obvious thing, which is going to be the moon, the full moon being in Capricorn. This is going to be on the 28th on Thursday Eastern Standard Time at 4:53 a.m. So Wednesday night, we'll basically be near full, but it'll go exact at that time. And so, in a case like this, what is it? The moon's moving into Capricorn. So, using tarot as a tool to visually give you a representation. So what we have is the moon, right? We have the high priestess expressing herself in Capricorn, which is represented by the devil card. So the emotional aspect of yourself, your hidden knowledge, your intuition, and all of that stuff will be expressing itself through the lens, or what you will see, the manifestation of the lens of a certain type of restriction, a certain type of, this is a time where manifesting on the things that, that have to do with career, that have to do with putting restrictions and structures on things is going to be prominent. It might be a good time to do some shadow work on this full moon, with Capricorn being the sign that the moon's going to ingress to for that full moon or full illumination. So there's work that needs to be done, internal work, internal reflection that needs to be done with the moon in Capricorn, full moon coming up. Whatever you got to do, I feel like as a reader, I'm like, okay, my working decks need to get charged in this, and as a spiritual person, where, looking at, what am I doing maybe over and over and over again that is limiting me, that is not allowing me to break free from the chains, shadow work. Good time. I'll probably be doing some this week myself. I feel like I've already started, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so we got that done. That's Thursday. First thing in the beginning of the week, though, we have Mars going into retrograde. He's going into retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. So Mars in Aquarius. So we have Mars. Mars is the aspect of ourselves that's assertive, that separates things, that breaks things down, right? There's a rushing vigor and livelihood and warrior nature comes from Mars, okay? So this aspect of ourselves is going to be going retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. This almost seems like two opposite ass cards, right? What I feel like this is saying, I gotta shift my leg over here real fast, sorry. What I feel like this is saying is the aspect of ourselves that's assertive, that's a warrior. We need to recover from battle. We need to recover from the fall and the shock that we have, that we are dealing with, that we have dealt with. It's with the Mars retrograde, which I should do this Mars retrograde. Okay, what I should do is this. There's the internal part of ourselves, a facet of ourselves, that part of ourselves, there's something about it that needs mending. There's something about it that needs healing and space to be worked through. Now, like I said, this is coming on this is coming on Monday, the Mars retrograde. So that's when it's stationed. So that day there may be a sense of looking within, coming within, and telling ourselves, all right, where am I being, am I breaking things down too much? Is there something I need to break down that's gonna allow space for healing to come in? Maybe there's a certain sense of freedom and hope and peace that comes from removing obstacles that are in your way. And it's really bringing it back to self and asking self, hey, where in my life can this be applied? Where can this be applied to, right? What do I need to rethink? What do I need to reconsider? In terms of this assertive side of me, maybe this warrior nature of me, maybe, that's what I'm getting from the Mars retrograde happening on Monday. The thing is Mars is not alone in his retrogradness. He is not. He is not. He is not alone. Now, he right now will be the only personal planet to be in retrograde at this time. Mercury's direct, Venus is direct, the Sun is direct, the Moon is direct. The Sun never goes retrograde, by the way. The Moon never goes retrograde. She goes through her phases. She shifts her light. So, the full moon is going to bring light to what I talked about with the full moon in Capricorn, but also with, this Mars retrograde being hellified fresh to death. It's going to become a time of, okay, where you want to manifest things, what do you need to remove to manifest this? Or how can you break it down to get to the core of your healing aspect of yourself? The rebel, the innovator, the unexpected part of yourself that maybe there's a part of you that you haven't used yet, that you haven't realized, and the shock value is going to come through. Astrology is so vast. There's so many ways I can interpret this. I do my best to try to keep it objective so that you can maybe look for the symbols in your own life. So that's why I do these. That's why I like doing these. Okay, so we have the Mars. Oh, you know what? Oh no, I did it right. So Mars is going to be in retrograde until August 27th. When he comes out of retrograde, he will be in the sign of Capricorn. So it even highlights more the point that that the moon's moving into Capricorn, because basically we're going all the way back, rethinking about the healing and whatnot, and then getting to a place of okay, dealing with the shadows. So things you've been trying to run away from, slip under the rug, not deal with, there's going to be themes that are going to come up, and I feel the need to suggest to find a way of integrating it, find a way of dealing with it for yourself, but acknowledge it. Stop trying to hide it from yourself or from the world, because if it exists and you just try to quiet the things that you don't like about yourself, they're only going to come back with a vengeance. We have, and the card is suggesting it needs to be worked on, okay? Okay, all right. So we talked about Mars, we talked about the moon. Um, Saturday. Saturday. Oh, bitch, what? I did not even. I forgot to pull out. I forgot to pull out a card. Oh my goodness. So, Mercury. Mercury moves into the sign of Leo on Saturday. And I didn't take out the. I knew. Ah, you little trickster, you. Okay, all right. Sorry, I got it. All right, Saturday. Mercury. Boom. Intellect, thoughts, communication, blah, blah, blah. The thought process, the mind, the intellect, right? Mercury ingresses into the sign of Leo on Saturday. So there's going to be a vigor, there's going to be a force in which you may express yourself, or in the way that you might be receiving information, in the way that you might be conducting your conducting your your thought processes. Maybe your words might be more fiery, maybe you might speak with more passion, or you may feel more passionate to speak on something. You may feel you know I feel like this is just strong words, strong ideas, strong thoughts coming through, that'll be coming through with Mercury moving into the sign of Leo on Saturday. There's going to be a new wave of inspiration that's going to come through your mind's eye, however that is. And it's something to hone in, or it's something to harness, because speaking your truth, speaking with force, battling the inner demons, that's all part of the trend going on with the planetary kind of things. And I really strongly feel that way, especially with these just personal planets. So personal planets being the planets that are a part of our psyche. They're not transpersonal planets or generational planets, if you will. So they affect us all very much differently, day to day, week to week, based on our natal chart, which I like to refer to sometimes as your natal signature. That's your energetic signature when you were born. That's what your birth chart is. It's dope like that. So these personal planets, when I talk about them, that's why I say sometimes it might not resonate, because it just depends what's being activated in your chart and the whole bit. And I can't do that for everybody all at once. So, okay. So, what else do we have? All right. So, that's really the movement of things going on this week. Let me touch on what we have in retrograde right now. All of our outer planets are in retrograde. Our generational planets are in retrograde. So we're talking about Pluto is in retrograde. So this is the Judgment card. Pluto, right? Retrograde. Now, classically, Pluto is not assigned a card, but in modern astrology it is, and I feel that the Judgment card fits Pluto's dynamic the best, because it's about transformation and power dynamics. Okay, this is a transpersonal thing that's happening. It's happening across the board, all over the earth. There is a dynamic about power struggles and realizations, and it's transforming us. And this process is grim. It is it is not pretty to deal with. And again, the retrogrades are about, we are all questioning, and we're all rechecking ourselves, and we are all at a place where we almost like, yeah, what do we do? How do we do this? How do we fix this? And if you think you figured it out, then there's the tension of the power dynamic. You understand what I'm saying? And that maybe everybody's like judging everybody else and that whole bit. That Pluto moves so slow. He's gonna be there for a while. The next one, I'm gonna go through the retrograde planets and I'm gonna get the numbers to let you know when they're going direct and all of that kind of beautiful stuff. So, we got Pluto in reverse in Capricorn. We have Neptune. Here's our hangman. Here's Neptune reversed. Right? There's spirituality. There is dreams. The that's, I was gonna say a reference into the houses, but it's not the same thing. Spirituality, spiritual exploration, all that kind of stuff. That's coming into question with and that is in, that's in reverse. The hangman's messing me up. That's in reverse in the sign of Pisces. So the moon with the illusions and the dream walking and the dealing through the fog, trying to walk through that path, trying to get to higher consciousness, trying to get there. Yeah, we all do that on a personal level anyways, especially in my circle, my community that that rocks with me and that I rock with them. But this is more transpersonal than anything. We are revisiting this again and maybe questioning, maybe you're questioning things, maybe you're getting deeper into things, right? Because like I said, this can play out in a couple of different ways, but it's definitely an effect on the collective, and it's something to consider in the circles that I run with, and what is presented to me. All my people are pretty open-minded, and we teach each other. Each one teach one. We teach each other, especially when things are foggy, especially when things are, and it's not just about the spirituality, right? But there's that the extension, the hyper extension of the intuition in regards to spiritual practices, and what that means and what that entails. And so there's a lot of like gray area going on, and Neptune's going to submerge us in that, in retrograde. So if you're focusing on that part of your life, Neptune, he's the master of this domain. So swim, my friends, swim. If you don't learn to swim, have somebody teach you, but swim. Okay. Okay, then we have Saturn, good old Saturn. Where you at? Boom, Saturn in retrograde, and he is in the sign of Capricorn. So again, we have the restrictions being imposed on us to some degree, to some level. How do we, which we have to rethink it, and we have to reestablish it. We have to do this to really try and figure out what is keeping us tethered in this space. Why can't we move forward? Why can't we get out of this cycle? Why is this a vicious cycle? What restrictions are being put upon us? Why do I feel stuck? Why do I feel like I can't move forward? Saturn may have a lot to do with this. Again, depends on where in your chart that falls. That's going to determine maybe, where you feel like you may have hit a wall, and where do you have to work harder to break through that wall, to break through that glass ceiling, to break through those things that require discipline and require structure and dedication, long-term projects, uh, long-term projects and long-term goals, because Saturn is about long-term things. So we're having a dark night of the soul in that respect. What are these long-term things? What am I doing to get there? What's holding me back? Blah 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 blah. Okay. Not blah 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 blah, but more or less in that essence. Okay. And we also still have Jupiter. Yes, Jupiter retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. So these are I'm giving you guys visuals this time because I meant to do it before, because I really love the integration of tarot and astrology. And for me, this is part of that. This is part of my practice. I do this all the time. I figured I'd share it with you guys so that you have a visual imprint of what it is that I'm referring to. Okay, so we have Jupiter. Here's our changes. We know things go up, they must come down. Jupiter is about expansion. It is about kind of like luck changing around. And in this and I'm sorry for any excess noise and the fans and all of that stuff. I'm not home, so bear with me. So Jupiter in retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. Oh boy, more deep stuff, people. More deep things. Jupiter is one of those planets that tends to so it expands things. So things having to do with in the lens, through the lens of Scorpio. So this is gonna be death, sex, other people's resources. It can allude to occult things as well. So here we are with the Jupiter retrograde, bringing to light all of this deep stuff, all of this hidden stuff that you skeletons you thought you may have buried well in the back of your closet. These things may come to light. Topics like things might touch close to home. This for me is the dirty laundry coming up, being put out there for the world to see. And this may have already been the case because, again, not all these planets, has been going on. This is not like it just started all of a sudden. The only one that's starting, like I said before, is Mars this week. And then we have the full moon coming up. But so just to kind of give you like a little cliff notes of like what's happening in the sky right now. That's what's going on there. Now, another scene that comes up, and I don't know if I'm gonna incorporate this all the time, but it called to me, so I'm gonna do it. We have the asteroid Ceres moving into the sign of Virgo, ingressing into the sign of Virgo on Friday, and there's no card to go with the asteroids, but here's your Virgo card. It's about grain and harvest. It's the process of renewal through reflection, and having faith, not having faith, excuse me, but rather nurturing your need to process your process of renewal through the insights of that place of within yourself that feels like home, and gaining the wisdom of it that way. All right, so that's that. Oh my God, I'm already at 25 minutes. I'm sorry this took so long, but I think I rambled a little bit. It is, like I said, there's a lot going on in the sky, and I'm gonna have to put a dedicated tarot deck just for my weeklies, just to do the visuals every time that I talk about something, so you can follow my train of thought, because sometimes my progressed Gemini will come out and he'll be like, here and here and here and here, and it's like, I hope everybody's following me. All right, Spirit. What energies do we need to know about for the week ahead to help us navigate through through this week, June 24th to June 30th, 2018. What does my tribe and whoever's watching this video need to know to navigate right now? All right. Beginning of the week, we get the Two of Cups. So Two of Cups, these are going to be a little bit quicker because I'm trying to keep these videos about 30 minutes long. Two of Cups is a card about coming together, sharing the emotional cups with each other, and build, where there's a manifestation of something beautiful and something powerful. Don't be afraid to connect with folks this week, and touch base, and it's okay to wear your heart on your sleeve, because we are all human. We all feel, we all experience very, very similar feelings, and so sometimes we just need to bounce things off of each other, and I feel like in the beginning of the week that might be an important concept, and all right, so for the middle of the week, we have the Page of Cups. So I feel like this is telling me to remind you guys to use whatever creative outlets it is that you have, whatever it is that your thing is, and explore your imagination, explore or express through your imagination, things that you need, that you want to deal with, that you need to deal with. What are you carrying in your heart? What does your inner child want to let out? How can your inner child come out to play? Maybe this is a synergy of your current self and your inner child self, or your current self and your shadow self coming together, integrating, and becoming powerful, and becoming something substantially powerful on an emotional aspect, to explore that new thing that comes up, and use your imagination, allow your imagination to guide you. Perhaps there might be messages in regards to a creative project, right? This could go a lot of ways. Wow. Okay, so I feel like my cards are my cards though. We're getting the Nine of Cups. This is that wish fulfillment card. People call it that. This is my spiritual Zen card, is what I like to call it. For me, this is somebody who is grounded and rooted in their belief system, in what they're doing, in the work that they've put in. It's about kind of standing within your authentic, or your authenticity, in regards to different areas of your life, in regards to your emotions, owning your emotions, having them straightened out, having them in a line, getting them in a row, because we know that emotions are fluid and they can be tricky to navigate sometimes. But I feel like this is just saying, like, by the end of the week, maybe whatever you decided that you wanted to work through, whatever it is, that's happening really is working on the emotional plane, on the spiritual keeps coming back, but the heart, it's about the heart center. It's about the heart center, and allowing yourself to explore that, to be able to explore your feelings and to hold them and to hold space for them and allow them to be, allow them to gestate if they need to gestate. And that by the end of it all, while you're working through it, something's gonna come through and it's all gonna be clear and it's all gonna line up and you're gonna be like, yeah, I did that. I did do that and it felt good. You know what I mean? I did that and it felt good. Or I did that, it felt really shitty at first, but I worked through it and now I feel like I can breathe and now I feel good. You know what I'm saying? So for some of you guys, it might be one way, some of you it might be the other, but the theme is emotions as far as just the tarot goes. I really feel this is a big influence from the Neptune retrograde, and the full moon coming up as well. Okay, so there's a lot of intuition and inner knowing and inner self work, inner child, inner self, shadow work, all of that. Inner musician, inner. It doesn't have to be limited to these key phrases here, but your inner, fill in the blank. I need to work on my inner blank and fill that in. For me personally, I know that filling in, I've already started to experience what my week is gonna be like because I've learned some new things about my heritage, my lineage. That was very eye-opening, but it also filled in a lot of gaps. So for me, I know it's gonna be on a spiritual worker level, and really refining that practice for myself, within myself, because I'm firm in that. So, we're at 34 minutes now, so I don't want to keep you guys for too long, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I totally appreciate you and I love you so much. And so until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. Much love, many blessings. Peace.